How can you get paid? How can you start making at least a little bit of a living?
Well, in order to MC, you need about 15. In order to feature, you should have 40, even though you might not do 40. And in order to headline, you need an hour. But it's not just, okay, I have, you know, my 5 sets that I've done of 5 minutes each, so that means I have 25 minutes. It's can you sustain an audience for that period of time?
There are many of you that are ready to get on the college circuit, and there are other ways to do that than marketing yourself as a headliner.
Not only am I hired for colleges to go in and do an hour of stand-up, they'll hire me to host their lip-syncing contest. I can't tell you how many lip-syncing contests I have hosted, and it's the easiest money because they want me to do 10 minutes up front and then bring their students on.
In a host, typically, I look for comfortability in their own skin. I want to know that this is someone that I want to grab a beer with, someone that is going to engage me. I feel like a good host can really pull the story and really can be charming and self-effacing, but can make the story about what the show is supposed to be about.
Your first job when you first get a job in comedy is probably going to be the MC. You're probably going to say, hey, you're new, why don't you host the show and do the most important part of the show? Which seems odd to me. So a few tips I like to give newbies or greenies or whatever the new people call themselves these days.
It helps to do stand-up to get a writing job, simply because you're doing material, you're hearing your jokes, you're writing all the time, and plus you're meeting other comics who may be writing another show, so it's a good way to network.
I'm standing in the writer's room of the War at Home, and this is where I work with up to a dozen other writers at any given time. And what we do here is we come up with stories and figure out what it is we're going to write about, but more importantly, this is where we come to rewrite.
I think managers could either be the best or the worst investment for a performer. You really need a manager in the beginning because you need a manager to introduce you to an agent, get you out into the community, really get you out there. And then I think you need a manager when you have a lot of success.
Lewis Black didn't really hit it until he was over 50, you know. Now he'd been working for years, he was always a respected and very, very talented performer. But you know, Rodney Dangerfield had been doing it for years, left, sold aluminum siding, then came back, and at 60 became a name. So Barbara's exactly right. If it's a passion you have, and you have something funny and original and different to say, that'll find its water level.
People probably every week who call us, who want us to represent them. What you need is a great video. If you can write a book, that is a fabulous thing to do. Tell your story, get it into writing, get it published. Have a great video, have a great bio, be very clear about what the topics are. And what I mean by have a good video is develop your content.
You know, to me, radio seems like a great way to get into showbiz. It actually is a great way to get into showbiz because you can go on, you can do your comedy. It's not a tough medium to get on. In other words, radio shows like myself, we're always looking for great guests. And if you're a comic, you know, some of the unknown comics are every bit as funny as some of the big name comics.